one of our guys found a rabbit. Well, I'm reflecting. You make me think, right? One of our guys found a rabbit. We had this pet rabbit. And in Afghanistan, everything that crawls is poisonous. The snakes, the spiders, the this, the that, everything. So I used to put these hair nets over my boots to keep them from getting into the boots. Took the rabbit, put the rabbit in my bunkmate's boot, covered it with the boot cover. So the rabbit's moving around, moving around. The rabbit knocks the boot over. This guy springs up out of bed, believes it is the biggest snake he's ever seen in his life. The whole crew standing around as this little rabbit hops around. He was mad. It was just... But you can imagine, and we all had briefings about snakes and insects and things like that, so the big fear was to get up in the morning, put on a boot, and have a scorpion in your boot. So he didn't think it was that funny, but we did.
Well, it's funny, I want to answer that too, because, and it's an animal also, or a reptile. We're on the plains of northern Germany, and I went down to the creek at first light to wash up. We were in the field, we had no wash facilities. And there was a snake about 3 feet long on the ground. And in Canada, I was from northern Canada, there are no poisonous snakes. The snakes are all friendly. And so I thought, oh, this is cute. And I picked it up and I coiled the snake up and I put it in my pocket to bring back for the boys sitting around cooking their breakfast. And I thought I'll scare the hell out of them with this poor little snake. And when I got back to camp, I reached in my pocket, pulled out the snake and threw it down on the ground for everybody to jump. Well, instead, the snake jumped and bit me through my boot. And all this white liquid came out of my boot, and I said, that's a poisonous snake. And that's when we discovered that northern Germany had poisonous snakes.
We all, like I said, we all have our medals. Mine is the Campaign Star for Afghanistan. And if you look at Larry's medals, my medal is based on their medals. So you can see the transition from the Second World War all the way through. It's not exactly the same, but it's based on his campaign stars that he has.
If you'd like me to explain mine, this is the 3945 star. Anyone that served in the Second World War would be awarded that. This next one here, this is the North Atlantic Star. The North Atlantic Star, I don't know whether you're aware of it, was the longest battle of the war. It started in 1939 and it went on until May the 7th, 1945. But it's considered the longest battle of the war because it was continual. This is a Canadian Volunteer Service Medal, anyone that joined the service. This is the War Medal, Canada's 125th Anniversary Medal. I was awarded that. I was about the third one in winter that was awarded first. Everybody got it now. And this Canadian Forces Decoration, CD.
Undetected crime.
I have, this one here is the Queen's Jubilee Medal. And right now they've got the Queen's,
Diamond.
The Diamond Jubilee. I've been recommended, but I don't know when I'm going to get it. But I also have a medal from the Polish government. A Polish ship went down in 1943 in the Atlantic, and there was two of us who pulled some of the sailors out of the water, and it took them exactly 40 years after the war to find me and Joe. Joe came from the East Coast. They brought Joe down to Montreal. They brought me to Montreal, and we were both awarded a medal, general something or other, from the Polish government. These are all, I have these ones here. I have the highest award, the Royal Canadian Legion will give you, Meritorious Service Medal. And as I say, the rest is history.
First thing I want to
the girlfriend.
You're a sailor, you know.
First thing I wanted to do when I got home was go to the bathroom on porcelain. For 9 months, I've been living in the field. So there's no toilets, dig a hole, do what you have to do. I wanted to go and sit in the bathroom and just sit. Because as an infantry soldier, you can't just go and say, okay, boss, I'm going to leave for 5 minutes. You don't. So I just wanted to go home, sit in the bathroom, and quite honestly read the Canadian Tire catalog. And that is what I did.
Well, the people use that for toilets.
That's why I wanted to read it, because I didn't have to use it. You could only carry so much, so you'd run out of toilet paper in the field, and you'd use the Canadian Tire catalog. Because it was
See, in the Navy, we didn't have to worry about that. There was a lot of water out there, so we just got rid of it there.
I think in our day, in my particular case, coming back after 2 years in Europe, we didn't have the transportation that you have now, and people don't realize how big the ocean is and Canada is. It took us 7 days to cross the Atlantic to get home in November in 50-foot seas. It was a rock and roll roller coaster ride all the way. And then when we arrived in Quebec City, we debarked onto trains, and I still had a 5-day trip to get home. People don't realize that the first thing I did to get home was wait to get home.
Your landlubber didn't share that what we did.
Yeah.
I think waiting to get home was certainly uppermost in our mind. Getting back to family, friends, and those that had grown up, so that they could see those of us who had aged over the years. But getting together and meeting friends, meeting family was something I look forward to, and I really appreciated doing.
Before anything, personally I come from a country which all my life I've been still in war. I'm from Mexico, and unfortunately we go through a lot of phases in war, and I had a cousin who gave his life in the army in my country. Unfortunately, nobody cares over that. I want to, first of all, for all of us, I want to thank you guys for what you got done, because it's a presence, and we don't see it. Sometimes we don't recognize it, but we're thankful that we're here, and we're thankful for everything that you guys have done for this great nation, because we're lucky to be here. We're blessed to be in this wonderful place. And I have one question. If you could, explain Canada in one sentence, what would it be?
Freedom.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
I just want to say,
You just say express thanks. The best way you can express your thanks to any of us and yourselves is to make yourself a damn good Canadian.
what I was saying is that I appreciate what you guys have done. What you guys have done what you guys are doing right now. I love military stuff, and I was in cadet, but then I aged out, and some of us here are in cadet. And I went to the reservice thingy, but then I failed the test. I'm gonna be honest about that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna give up. I can't do this anymore. But then when you guys talked, I was thinking, you guys did it. I can't do it. Like when you said that they just called you out and they were like, oh, go and fight at the thing in the country. And I'm like, hey, I wish I was you. Like, I love that. Like, so my question was that when you're in the reservice and then they call you that to go to the country, is the same training, or is just like they called you, then you went and started training again?
The training's exactly the same. This gentleman belonged to the Royal Canadian Regiment.
Okay.
And he was in Germany. I went to Afghanistan with his regiment, the Royal Canadian Regiment. So there's one standard in the Army, and this is why I like this country. There's one standard for men, one standard for women, one standard. It doesn't change. So the regular force, full-time soldiers, pass the same tests that I did to go to Afghanistan.
Nice.
It was 100% the same, and what that did was, the full-time soldiers, the regular force soldiers knew if I was there, I had to pass all the same tests that they did. So even though I was a reservist who was there, they knew that I was qualified to be there because there's one standard.
Okay.
So you can do it. I'm telling you, if you take your time, focus on that test, you will pass that test, you will crush that test. And the simple fact that you knew that you made a little slip up, and you've already said you're going to rewrite it again, I want you to go in and I want you to crush that test. For the simple reason that you can do it. And if you believe in yourself, you will do it. And if it takes you 10 times to do it, then do it 10 times. Don't stop. And when you're done, take that test, take it home, put it up, show everybody, prove to people that you can do it. Because the only one stopping you is you.
Yeah.
Politics.
Politics starts in any country. Seems to be the stem that starts the ball rolling, and greed and
Greed
authority.
and ego.
Yes.
Greed and ego are the two reasons that a nice
People like
kind-
Hitler,
Hitler wanted to rule the world.
different people. They get power and then they just build on it and
Exactly.
build on it.
Nice people
Before you
like
know
you.
They get other people believing in them.
You rise up, you achieve power, and you decide, gee, I'm great.
Nobody's better
I
than me.
want more. And you take other countries. That's always the start of a war, politics of more.
I think it was the First World War was a war to end all wars. Then the Second World War came, and they said the same thing. But every day you pick up the paper, there's a different war in some part of the country, some part of the world. I don't think it'll ever, there's too much greed and too much power that causes it.
I know I'm very proud of meeting you gentlemen today. And I think everyone here is also very proud as well.
Well, we're proud of you all.
That's right.
Thank you.